everyone, it's Jego Reyes for U.S Philippines 10, where we break down major stories from here and abroad into bite-sized facts in 10 minutes. Mark your calendars. Malacanang updates the list of regular holidays and special non-working days for 2023 to include more long weekends as a way to support travel and tourism. So, it's time to book those planned trips with family and friends. Here's a quick tip. The second day of next year, which falls on a Monday, will be a special non-working holiday. And if you need to be in the airport, internet connection won't be a problem. The Transportation Department and fiber broadband network provider Converge ICT Solutions signed a deal for free Wi-Fi in airport terminals in the country. Wi-Fi spots will be set up in 9 international and domestic airports, including Ninoy Aquino International Airport, Mactan Cebu International Airport, and Francis Bangoy International Airport in Davao. Converge will provide a 60-minute free and secure internet service for registered users every day. For some heartwarming news, the country welcomes the symbolic 8th billionth person in the world. And it's an adorable baby girl. Meet Venice Babansag from Delpan in Tondo, Manila. She was born at the Jose Fabella Memorial Hospital. According to the United Nations, 1 billion people were born in just a span of 12 years. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says this milestone should be celebrated and we must consider, quote, humanity's shared responsibility for the planet. In other stories, it's a new beginning for our OFW kababayans years after losing their jobs in Saudi Arabia. Over 17,000 jobs are offered to them with openings from here and abroad. The Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, says it hopes to encourage OFWs to stay in the country instead.
Na kang maaari, kung sila po ay naturuan na ng teknolohiya, nag-experience na po sila at pwede po sila makahanap ng trabaho dito sa ating bansa, yun po yung pinakamagandang gawin po natin.
The government is also helping families of displaced OFWs to find jobs. Advocates reiterate the shared responsibility of keeping roads safe.
Nakakatakot po talaga siya. On my bike rides to school, I should be thinking about simple things, but all that I can think about is if I will even make it to my destination alive.
Kaya naman ninanais ko din po sa aking sarili na ako ay makapaglakbay ng mag-isa. Dahil ang cane na hawak ko po ngayon, ang siyang magiging tanging gabay ko sa hinaharap kong buhay.
In line with the World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims, a mural featuring around 1,670 handprints of children was unveiled, sending a clear message to make streets safe.
Gawin nating ligtas ang ating mga komunidad para sa bata at para sa lahat. Hindi dapat death sentence ang paglaro ng ating mga bata sa kalsada, ang kanilang pag-commute o paglakad sa eskwelahan.
The Transportation Department and the Metro Manila Development Authority have vowed to support road safety program.
Aming mga proyekto, ang aming pong advokasya ay para po maiwasan po ang mga insidente ng road crash. Hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi para po sa lahat.
Or we'll take a more active approach in educating our motorists at ganon din po yung mga pedestrian.
And in the countdown to Christmas, more establishments begin lighting up their trees, hanging holiday decors, and spreading cheer. Families have also begun taking more time out, indicative of much larger gatherings and reunions in the weeks and days to come. While this is not possible for people behind bars, one establishment in Pasig City is making sure that some of them will feel the Christmas cheer. The Joy Nostalgia Hotel and Suites lit up its Filipino-style tree, and with that, a display of lanterns made by the inmates of the San Juan City Jail.
We wanted to be able to express that hope in many things. More importantly, it's being able to support persons deprived of liberty, because these people are trying to renew their lives, and we wanted to be able to support their families while they're rebuilding their lives again.
The hotel bought 200 lanterns from the inmates, and the proceeds will go to their families.
One thing that the pandemic has taught us is the spirit of bayanihan. The bayanihan spirit truly has prevailed in these trying times.
The lanterns, some of which will be given to hotel guests, showcase the craftsmanship of the inmates and is a way to help sell their other products. And like the star that led the wise men to the baby in the manger, the Joy Nostalgia Hotel and Suites hopes the lanterns made by the inmates will also inspire them to become better and more productive members of society. Speaking of holidays, we Filipinos really love the holiday feast. It's carbo and sweets overload, but please watch out if you have diabetes. Here are some tips to better manage the disorder and stay well.
You have to identify what are my risk factors to develop diabetes. You have to look at your diet, so you try to lessen your total carbohydrate intake so that you don't overwork your pancreas in releasing insulin. Second, you have to be active physically, no? So in that way, you're able to burn calories and avoid storing excess in the form of fat. And then lower body fat would mean lower risk of having insulin resistance. So that's why exercise is also important. So hindi lang yon, ano? Ang marami rin kasing matataas ang carbohydrates katulad ng kanin, di ba? Yung only rice, mahilig tayo dyan, mga Pinoy. Yung pandesal natin or yung mga bread natin ang tatamis, no? Pandesal, highly refined starches would also mean higher carbohydrates. If we look at the FNRI data na latest, no, yung 2018, 40% ng Filipinos actually hindi nag-exercise. That's statistics. And then like 4 out of 10, no, hindi nag-exercise. The obesity is very high in the Philippines, no? Like if you look at the all-age data, 37% yung obese, no? But if you look at the age for the working group, 40 to 59-year-old, nasa around 40% yung obese, no? So very high yung obese due to nutritional compromise and then also lack of exercise.
President Bongbong Marcos was in Thailand for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC Leaders Meeting. On the sidelines, the president was informed by the Saudi Arabia Crown Prince that his government will shoulder the back pay of OFWs displaced by the closure of Saudi companies in 2015 and 2016. The Philippines and China also agreed to expand ties on agriculture, energy, infrastructure, and people-to-people exchanges.
And that's why these meetings, these summits are so important, because we can come to a common position.
President Marcos also had bilateral meetings with the leaders of France, New Zealand, and Australia. They agreed to further cooperate on energy, agriculture, defense, and the welfare of Filipino workers and residents.
Problems as we have identified them seem to be the same problems for most of the country.
Crafting policies to protect the environment and developing nations against climate change was part of the discussions. The president also invited Thailand's biggest conglomerates to further invest in the country. A lot of promises and agreements, but when would all of these materialize? After APEC, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris flew to the Philippines for a 3-day visit, the highest U.S. official to visit the country in recent history. Harris said the U.S. is committed to defend the Philippines from armed attacks under existing mutual defense agreements. Before returning to the U.S., Harris also visited Palawan for a tour of the Navy vessel BRP Teresa Magbanwa. And now for a 10-second trivia. Who among these saints was Santa Claus based on? Saint Nicholas of Myra, Saint Nicholas of Tolentine, Saint Alexander of Jerusalem, or Saint Martin de Porres? The father of Christmas, Santa Claus, was based on Saint Nicholas of Myra. Saint Nick was born in the 3rd century in the village of Patara in southern Turkey. Nicholas was raised as a devout Christian and became Bishop of Myra, a small Roman town in modern Turkey. But unlike the Santa that we know today, Nicholas has a reputation as a fiery, wiry, and defiant defender of the church doctrine. And that's it for CNN Philippines 10. I'm Jego Reyes, giving you news you can use, news you can trust in 10 minutes. Thanks for joining me today, and see you again next time.